Hey guys, what is happening? I am bringing you some USS Missouri action right now. This is actually a game that I am very, very proud of. And the main reason for that is I finally cracked the 200,000 damage mark. Yes, I know, I've been playing for a very long time. Yes, I know, I probably should have done it by now. Does that make me an average player? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But there have been many rounds, too many to count, where I've done 180,000 damage, 190,000 damage. I can deal 150,000 damage all day long. But like a 40-year-old virgin, for some reason, I just could not get over that monumental 200k hump. This round, things changed though. And if you can recall, in my end-of-year video, I asked what your New Year's resolutions were. Mine was to actually hit the 200k mark, and not long after 2017 started, I did that. So I'm very proud of that. I'm going to play this for you. I'm going to kind of comment on what I did, how I did it. I really only made one big mistake, and that actually came back to haunt me towards the end of the round. Just one big mistake. Well, it wasn't that big. I survived, but that did shape things later on in the round, and I'll get to that later. You can kind of see the enemy team right now is swarming sea, and it looks like we're getting ready to do battle with their fleet, and I don't think I'm going to stick around this area. I'm going to start to go hard to port to try and avoid all these ships right here. You can see I'm already getting some defense in there, hitting destroyers with my secondaries and everything else. Actually, my secondaries aren't quite hitting them yet, but you know, if they're any closer, they would have. If I was in the if I was in a German battleship, they would have hit them. So, anyhow, I absolutely love the Missouri, and I've spoken with a lot of players. Ooh, that ship took a huge hit right there. Wish that was me that did that. I've spoken with a lot of players, and they seem to agree with me that the Missouri is just a better ship than the Iowa. And there's an overpin right there. I think the main reason for that, and it doesn't have as much to do with better players playing the ship. I mean, I know some more skilled players with XP racked up are finding their way to purchasing the Missouri. But I think one of the reasons is that reinforced bow, the extra armor plating on the front side, just gives it a little more ability to tank than the Iowa proper can. I think that reinforcement on the front citadel just gives you the ability to go at the enemy bow first, and your survivability is just a little bit better. And you can see right here that our ships are turning around. We're going to yield C because they have the advantage. They've got numerous battleships. We don't quite have the force that they do. They've already lost, well, we've lost a ship right now. They've lost 2 ships, so we're a little ahead in the game. So it's not significant that we take C right now, which I'm going to swing around and go back towards it. And, you know, I've already racked up some decent damage, 30,000 K. So I think just overall, you know, the Missouri is a better ship than the Iowa overall. Maybe not by much, but you can't deny that it has the ability to take much more punishment than the Iowa can. Obviously, the credits, that's been touched on a lot, but ooh, and there's a nice twofer right there against that Iowa, and that's gonna happen when you it's gonna happen when you sail broadside to your enemy. So that was a little expected there. And there's another one right there. Look at that, and he's gone. Goodbye. It's gone. So that Iowa just wandered into a death trap against two other Iowa class ships, my Missouri and this other Iowa. We finished him off with 4 quick citadels. So no, I think the Missouri is I mean, not a significantly better ship, but I just enjoy it a lot more. Other news, I think I finally came up with a winner for my Name the Segment contest. And, you know, I reviewed a lot of a lot of suggestions, and there were a ton of... Ooh, there's 3 citadels right there. Look at that. That rune just got punished. And you can already see I'm up to 122k damage. This round just started off very, very well for me. So there were over 600 suggestions. I had a lot to go through, but the one I think I'm settling on is very clever. I mean, instantly when I saw it, it just stuck in my mind, and it is Zoupy Sails. So a lot of you might know who Soupy Sales was, and he's a very, very prominent, well, he's no longer alive. He was a prominent performer, comedian, radio personality, TV personality. He was on the 80s version of What's My Line? So just a very, very, very popular comedian and figure. So the individual that suggested this name to me took Soupy Sales and changed it to Zoupy Sails, and of course he changed Sales, S-A-L-E-S, to S-A-I-L-S. And I absolutely love puns and play on words, so this to me just really struck at what I was trying to do, and the name just makes absolute sense. There are a lot of things like Zoup's Kitchen, Cup of Zoup, which I really, really liked also. I even created a cup with my little signature avatar thing on it, and I had that all ready to go, but I found this and just instantly fell in love with it. So I think Zoupy Sales is what I'm going to go with for my little Sail and Chat series, and I know Sail and Chat is what... I was actually really scared I was going to get torped by my teammate here, but those died, so nothing to worry about that. And I'm just going to start heading towards this island here to use it as a shield and take on this Amagi. You know, I've still got a lot of battleships around, and I'm in unfriendly territory, but my team is around B. They're kind of flanking them, so a little less to worry about. So anyhow, I just think that makes great sense for the little Sail and Chat that I want to do, and obviously that's iChase's name right there. And someone even came up with, and this was the mistake, sorry to interrupt that. This was the mistake I made right here. I was not paying attention. That Benson got off some very good torps, so I'm going to eat a few right here, more than a few, and that really hurt right there. There's still a lot of ships out there, so now it's more imperative that I get to this little island for cover, because I am a sitting duck right now. I'm hurting pretty bad. So this, I said at the beginning of this round that I made a big mistake, and this was the one big mistake that I made. But this Tashkent right here, he's helping me out. He's being a very, very good destroyer, and I believe I left him some karma just because he laid some very effective and good smoke and helped me out a lot. He really did. So I'm using this island for protection now. We're still ahead. We're slowly whittling them down. My damage production has kind of decreased a little bit, but still not a bad round. I'm going to play some peekaboo here, some EU tactics. Not to make fun of them, but just to point out what they like to do so much. But anyhow, yeah, someone even chose something with Mingles with Zoup, or in Zoup's Kitchen, and obviously Mingles with Jingles is out there, and I in no way want to infringe on anything that he has, because he is by far one of the most known names in World of Warships, and I'm going to reach out and touch this destroyer here and not eat his torps, because I knew that was coming. So on another topic, you know, you all are worried about radio position finding, giving away destroyers' positions and their surprise attacks. Anyone who's played for a long time knows it's coming. I knew it was coming there. I slowed down. I didn't need RPF to know that, so it's not a big concern. Anyhow, Missouri, absolutely love the ship. I actually lived in Missouri. Lived in Ferguson, believe it or not, when I was very, very young. I was 3. My dad was stationed there, and I'm going to finish this Magi off right now and drive on. But yeah, we lived in Ferguson, and it was a lot different city back then. Didn't have any of the problems that you find there today, or found there a couple years ago. But lived in St. Louis, lived in Missouri, so I have an affinity for Missouri. I have a love for it, the state itself, and obviously the ship. And actually driving out to Oklahoma State, I would drive through Missouri every time I went out there and stop there overnight. There's a great custard place out there in St. Louis, if any of you live there, called Ted Drew's. Probably some of the best ice cream in the country, so you all need to check it out if you're in the Midwest or in that area. I highly recommend it. So, anyhow, playing that peekaboo game again. I know there's still a destroyer out there. I've got my destroyer with me, just kind of protecting me. I'm going to slowly creep out here. I know they also have their Friedrich hiding around. And I'm going to take some shots at this Benson. That'll get me the high caliber right there. Again, I knew those torps were coming, or at least coming at some point, which is why I didn't rush out there. I just kind of took my time. They've still got me outnumbered on this side, and I'm playing very careful. Managed to get back some of the damage that was caused by the torpedoes, but not all of it. I'm going to start taking shots at this Rune right now. See if I can take care of him. Fire is one thing that I'm scared of, and I don't want to take it. And right now I'm kind of wandering into a little trap that has me worried. And it's not necessarily a trap. I don't think they knew what was going on, but they've got a Scharnhorst ahead of me, and I know the FDG is lurking to the left, kind of cutting through B right now. And the last thing I want is to wind up with a Scharnhorst on my right and another Tier 9 battleship on my left. And that is the absolute last thing that I want. So right now I'm going to focus on taking out these ships, which I just did right there, kind of punch that Rune in the nose. 12,000k damage right there. And now that leaves me with only the Scharnhorst to deal with and this Friedrich to my left. And it was actually right around this point, right at this juncture in the game, that I knew that 200k was a possibility. I knew it was an absolute possibility with these two ships left. You can see I'm backing up. I hate backing up, but sometimes you just absolutely have to do that. I mean, it's an absolute necessity. I noticed that the Friedrich over there was not looking at me. He's kind of got his eyes elsewhere, so I'm going to focus on the Scharnhorst and back up, so I use this island right here to kind of defend myself in case the FDG decides to shoot at me, which would not be a good thing because I'm broadside to him right now. And that completes the Confederate right there and puts me up at 183k. So I'm getting very close, trying to not get excited, although at the time my adrenaline was absolutely pumping. Here's the torps the Scharnhorst tried to fire at me. But of course, since I was backing up, he was not close enough and they just died. So, time is running short. We've got 956 points out of 1,000, but that other battleship next to me that's nice and broadside is going to make a hasty exit from the round, which is going to prolong things a little longer. So my only concern at this point, the only thing on my mind right now is getting that 200k. And I know I can do it because I know that other battleship is lurking out here. I know he is around. So I'm going to kind of pie this corner right here. That's kind of a military term for shooting. If some of you don't know, when you pie the corner, you kind of take a wide angle, aiming at the doorway or whatever entrance as you go around. You just kind of cautiously. So I'm kind of pieing the corner of this this island right here because I know he's here. His secondaries are popping, and I know, yeah, there he is. Right as I come around the corner, he's 7 clicks out. He's got a lot more health than me, but I'm just going to get after it and start taking him on, stay as angled as I can. My shots were wide right there. I kind of surprised myself on how bad that was. And the Missouri and Iowa have great aim when you add the plotting room to it. I swung my rear guns out there. That's always a risk. But he's firing at the other battleship right now. And he just, he took him out, but he's giving me his broadside, so I'm just aiming center mass and do a very, very good chunk of damage right there, 20,000, and that put me over the limit. Unfortunately, right now, I am not staying as angled as I should. I'm still a little flat to him, and that allows him to finish me off. And that ends my round at 223k. So I managed to do what I have not been able to do for years. And you can see me right there. I even typed it out. Finally 200k. But the unfortunate thing is, this is not our game yet. We only have one ship left, and they have two. And kind of worried right now. But this Fletcher knew what he was doing, fortunately. And wouldn't that have just been it? We lose the round that I do 223k damage in. I was certain that was going to happen just for the great RNGesus to spite me. But no, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to switch to our little Fletcher there in a second after watching myself in this mighty Missouri sink. And again, if you don't have the Missouri and you're thinking about it, I highly recommend it. I know it's not the easiest ship to obtain, and it's unfortunate because it is a really good ship. Really unfortunate. But Fletcher against Pensacola, you know, Pensacola's hanging on by a thread. Just one of these hits, and it's game over, which is going to happen here in a second. Guys, I wish you the best of luck on your New Year's resolutions. I hope you are speeding towards them. That is going to end it for me on this episode of Zoupy Sales. So I will catch you all later.